Rita Maran joins us for Women's Human Rights, and that is on Monday afternoon.
This course will be dealing with women's human rights in the context of rule of law. There were not always laws speaking to the fact that there should be equality. Our Constitution and our Declaration of Independence in this country talked about all men being created equal. This is not a course that says that's wrong. We know that now. The United Nations Charter has made that clear. International treaties that the United States has ratified has made that clear. And so we're talking about women's rights not in the pat on the shoulder kind of approach, which I confess, as a specialist in the United Nations, I have too often seen at the United Nations, which has a lot of lessons to learn in that respect, but rather true equality. Where does it come through? How can you have at the same time a headline story about a woman being stoned in some country elsewhere, and at the same time have women as Secretary of State, as members of the Supreme Court of this and other countries? The contrast is tremendous. What ties this together is the fact that we are all now in an agreed covenant set up by the United Nations when it established human rights law in 1945. And we will have a chance to pull apart the economics of it, the fact that women in some countries, in this country, earn 77% of what a man does for the same work. We will look at violence and how that ties into peace and war, which is the fundamental purpose that we're about through the United Nations. And we will then go through some of the personalities. Eleanor Roosevelt, for example, was a wonderful, brilliant woman, and her experiments in this field were brought about because after the death of her husband in 1945, really the State Department didn't know what to do with this brilliant woman, sent her to be the head of a commission at the UN in Geneva called the Commission on Human Rights. And it was she who helped shepherd some of the international norms and treaties that are in force today. And we'll talk about how they come into force in Berkeley as well. I'm a member of the City Subcommission on Human Trafficking. We're looking at human trafficking on a citywide basis and involving women in Berkeley. What difference does it make to them if there is a UN or if there's international law? The law pertains, the women can benefit from it, and I have seen in the last 10 years particularly the benefits of having a standard linkage between economics on the one hand and violence on the other, and we'll work right the way through to show the linkage and the importance of those connections. Hope to see you in class.
Rita, thank you.